All right. Are we live? I think so. Oh, where's my face? Oh, there we go. All right, something's going on. Let's see. A little bit of a lag. That's fine. All right, awesome. So nobody's on just yet. It looks like that's fine, but we are going to be doing a live feedback today, which I'm super excited about. Let's see here. Let's close a couple tabs. This is what we'll be doing today. We've got a long list of people who have submitted within the deadline, and we've got some exciting pieces here. All right, we've got people from all different kind of ranges of skill levels and experience, but should be lots of fun. Let's see here. All right, so no one's on yet, but let's just kind of dive into the first one, shall we? Otherwise, I'm just going to be kind of here on by myself for a bit. So for the first one, Ion V. Link to music. So requests. How can I make the harmony sound more Studio Ghibli-ish? Oh, good. There are people on here. Good. So I gotta check real quick. Can people hear me? Can you hear me? And can you hear my keyboard? All right. Once I got that confirmed, we can kind of move ahead because it would be terrible if I started listening to people's music and then found out you guys couldn't hear anything. All right. Welcome, Jack. Welcome. All right. Here we go. We got some people. Let's see. Can people hear me? Can you hear the piano? Things going well? All right, let's see here. Awesome. Jack says we can hear both. Let's do this. All right, so first one, underscore Ion V underscore. Link to music we got. Request, how can I make the harmony sound more Studio Ghibli-ish? All right, Ghibli, I'm not sure. Let's give it a listen though.
This is how AI optimizes my
Can y'all hear
schedule.
the videos?
So I have a project coming up. So I start by listing the project and then setting.
All right. Getting a notebook so I can write notes. All right. Ooh, there we go. There we go. $370 views. That's pretty good for being on for 1 month. Here we go. I'm liking the piano arrangement. Welcome, Polish Crow. Jack, yep, this has definitely got a lot of typical Japanese harmony. I'm hearing some Japanese chord progressions. Beautiful. I love it when you bring the strings in. Oh, there we go. The hits are a bit unusual for Studio Ghibli vibes, but I like it. It works for the arrangement. There we go. There we go. There we go. That was good. That was really good. All right, so I do have some feedback. All right. First off, wonderful arrangement. Sounds awesome. The Ghibli vibes were very strong with this one, I think is what Jack said. Oh no, Shapeshifter Roy, where did the live feedback go? Did it cut out or something? Let me know. But awesome. So a couple of things right off the bat that you can do to make this a bit more open. You're using extended chords. That's great. That's number one. That's what I would always recommend. It's like the most basic and most effective thing you can do. For people who don't know, extended chords are like sevenths, ninths. Well, some people would argue that a seventh isn't extended, that you don't start extending until the ninths. But whatever. Things beyond basic triads. So let's visualize this, shall we? Here is the little piece that I came up with for the last live stream, so we'll ignore that for now. Let's say that we've got a nice little chord progression. Studio Ghibli chords are usually in minor keys. Alright, so we've got a nice little A minor, D minor, A minor, then E major. Sorry, I bumped the mic a little bit. So if we voice this a little bit down, actually we'll leave it that way. The fastest way to make this sound like a Studio Ghibli score, and you already did it, is to add sevenths. And in the case of this chord, I'm going to make it a sixth. All right? So we've got, right off the bat, a little crunchy. Where is that? Let's cut this for some reason. Let's see that again. All right, that's good. So then if you want to go even further, you can add a ninth where applicable. So the B, drop that. No, B is not applicable because it forms a minor second, an octave below. So we'll ignore the B. Let's try D. D works because it forms a major second. There's a note in between. See that? So we're good. If you're looking at what I mean, it's over here. If we move up, there's the D sharp, then E. If we went with the B, this is just kind of a fast lesson. We move up one, it's already C. So because there's less space between the two, we're going to ignore it. But here we've got a nice little Studio Ghibli type sound. And we'll do ninths down here as well. No, that doesn't work. So we'll ignore the ninth. And we're good. So you've used harmony like this already, and it sounds great. Something you can do to make it sound a little more Studio Ghibli-esque is to space out your chords a little bit. So here we've got a nice little A minor 9. What happens if we take these and raise them up a bit? An open spacing just means that you spell the chord by skipping a few notes or raising notes an octave. So instead of going A, C, E, which plays in A minor, without skipping any notes, you skip the A, the C, and you add it up here. Same chord, just spaced out a bit more. So again, if you wanted to do this over here, just two notes, pop it up an octave. Want to do it over here, pop it up an octave. And again, why does Cubase always do this? It always wants to like overlap these two notes. So open spacing, and one way you can do that is using open spacing notes in your left hand. For example, doing this A, E, and C, which is a bit of a stretch. And then having these two notes be played with the right hand, with whatever your melody is. So open spacing chords, that's right off the bat a great way to do it. Then another one you can do is to roll your chords a little bit, meaning having the notes enter more staggered. Then let's raise this one a little bit higher for more open spacing. And then let's roll this one. And we'll roll this one. We'll raise it an octave. We'll drop this an octave too. All right, so let's drop the velocity a little bit. So right off the bat, we went from a chord that sounded pretty decently like Studio Ghibli. Let's see here. It was A minor, or A minor 9. Then it was, what, D minor 7? Then A minor 9 again. And then E major 6. And by simply rolling the chords and by spacing out the notes a bit, by raising a couple of them an octave higher, it sounds way more Studio Ghibli-esque, right? Right? So cool, isn't it? So, if you want to space them out, if you want to do an open spacing like this, the ones that I would recommend is the easiest way to do it is to spell out your chord and then start with the root, leave it in place. Take this one, skip, take it. So basically all you're doing is you are raising some of the notes an octave higher. You are spelling the chord by skipping some notes. For example, the C here has been skipped. We'll delete the B because it's not part of the chord. And the G here has been skipped. And instead they were played up here. All right, we played the G and the C and G. We just raised them an octave. And again, open spacing, roll the chords, instantly way more Studio Ghibli sounding, right? Which is crazy, because the very original chord progression we started with was just... I'm going to move my mic slightly. Sorry, people. Actually, no, I'm not going to move. I'm going to move my keyboard a bit closer. So, yeah. So it went from... And just by adding extensions, which you've already done, and again, spacing those notes out a bit more and adding little rolls, we've got way more. So the way you could do this is, like I said, these notes, the A, E, and C, could be played in your left hand. I can't because I've got a tiny little keyboard on my desk. My full size is next to me and I don't have it set up. And then you could just have these played in the right hand with your melody. So your pinky plays the high note and the rest of your hand plays these lower notes if you'd like. Or you add them as an arpeggio. You could do these as an arpeggio. There's all kinds of things you could do. Other than that, the last note I have for your piece of music, my friend, is when you do bring in the orchestra a little bit, have a bit more of a transition. All right, that helps it'll help it make it sound so much smoother. So when you go from piano to just boom, big string things, it can be very helpful to have like piano. And then maybe 2 or 3 measures where the low strings start to play very quietly on the bass line. Or maybe you've got plucked strings, like plucked violins or something playing on the beat or playing on the plucked chords, something. Just introduce it a little bit to let the audience know, oh, something's about to happen, and then boom, you've got it. The secret to transitions, and I've done several live streams like this. Let's see here. Transitions. 1, start by identifying the differences between your 2 sections. All right, so e.g., section A equals solo piano, section B equals string section. All right, step 2, identify how long you want your transition to last. All right, typically I like to use just by default the last 2 measures of section A. The 2 cadence measures tend to work really well for transitions, but you can have longer ones. You can even have an entire section, a full 8-bar phrase that's dedicated to transitioning. All right. Identify the key differences that you want. I cannot type today. You want to transition. Let's add a quotation mark here too. Gradually. E.g., instrumentation. And make a plan to create that gradual transition. E.g., for example, gradually introduce lower strings before adding the whole section. All right, smooth out the transitions, makes it sound much more controlled. But of course, if you want something more bam in your face, go for it. But awesome work. All right, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. It was nice getting back to the roots of the channel, because this channel started out, my very first video was about Studio Ghibli music. It's rife with mistakes because I had just been getting started, but I'm still proud of the video, which reminds me, 5 years, people. 5-year anniversary. This is technically part of the celebration, right? I can't believe I've been doing this for 5 years, right? It's crazy, which technically the 5 years is on Tuesday. All right. Tuesday, March 26th. I started the channel in 2019. I had no business teaching tutorials, but I started the channel as a way to basically help myself learn. Because I found out that I learn things way better by teaching them. And if I feel like I'm explaining something to someone else, it just clicks for some reason. And so that's why I started the channel. And then 5 years later, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job, right? I hope so, at least. So in addition to this live stream, I am doing another live stream Tuesday, the actual anniversary. I will be writing a 5-minute piece of orchestral music, start to finish, completely live. All right, it will start at 11 a.m. Detroit time and just go until I'm done. It's pretty ambitious. I have zero idea of what I'm going to write. All I have is a process. I'm going to be putting out the process. I'll be selling a worksheet that will show you my step-by-step process that I will be using to start from nothing to a fully orchestrated piece of music that's 5 minutes long. I'll be selling that process for like $5 on my website, which brings me to celebration number 2 before we get on to the second piece. If you would like, go to... Why is this not working? Make it bigger. There we go. I got to work on my website a bit. Everything is on sale. No coupon necessary. 15% off up until Tuesday. You can get everything 15% off as, again, a celebration of 5 years of doing this. All right, awesome. So let's check the comments real quick. Anything? Welcome, Tamashi. Welcome. Let's see here. Where did the live feedback go? I'm not sure. Where does Shib Shankar? Hello. Where did the live feedback go? Oh, no, you're right. This is the wrong stream. Oh, no. All right. 1 second. Let's edit this. Live feedback on your music. All right. I don't know why it changed. So apparently I'm streaming the wrong one. No worries, people. Thank you for pointing that out, Shib Shankar. This is the live feedback. I must have clicked the wrong one to go live. Apologies for that. Let's get welcome. Hello there, Post-Fiction. Heads up, you've got 2 different links going. A couple people waiting to watch your music reviewed link. Oh, thank you. Some software review. Let me go back. Thank you. I should have checked this sooner. Why is it doing 2? Let's see here. Actually, no, it says that I'm live on this one. Am I on this one? Okay, so I'm confused. So here's the stream I've got. Here's my view. This one says it's upcoming, scheduled. This one says I'm live now. Live music on your feedback. So yeah, this is weird. All right, so no, yeah, I've got 2. So I've got this going on right now. So thank you, Post Fiction RPG Audio. 2 different links going, a couple people waiting to watch your live music reviewed link. Is it too late to submit Alex Goodmanson music? Is it too late to submit a song for review? Never got a notification. Unfortunately, this time it is a little late. I apologize. I did notifications on my YouTube page when I did the 5-year anniversary announcement, and I did another one on Instagram. Black Hole Studio, where's the cooking? But I will be doing more of these. Alex, I will be doing more of these. Usually the last stream of each month will be a live feedback. I am taking the last week of this month off because I will be out of town, but there will be another feedback stream next month. Black Hole Studio, where's the cooking stream? That one's still coming. That will be for 30,000 if that's what people decide on. I think you're on the wrong stream, Jack says. I was on the other one recently. People are waiting in the upcoming one. How to get them here? Yeah, so if people are waiting the other one, can you send them here? So there was a mistake on the live stream. If someone can go over there and say, for some reason, my YouTube studio messed things up. I clicked to go live on this one. I don't know why it did something weird, but it did something weird. So if someone could go over to the other one and just tell them to come over here. In fact, I'm going to delete. No, I won't, because I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, if someone could go over there and just tell people that we're over here. I apologize for the huge confusion. Let's see here. Alex Goodmanson. Oh man, I just wrote on Simran Spy Priest. It sounds awesome though. So share it for the next one. Keep an eye out for the next one. Shall we move on to the next piece? Shall we? All right. So here we go. Let's exit out of that one. In fact, let me do my YouTube studio actually real quick. Content, live. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's edit title and description. Let's actually go over here. So you guys are seeing a little bit of backdrop. Let's do this one. Let's edit. And then we'll just do change live feedback thumbnail. All right, awesome. I apologize for the confusion. I have no idea why YouTube did this. I don't know why, like, the OBS that I use messed stuff up. Oh, thank you, Francisco. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know why it had me do that one instead of this one. I don't know what's going on. Apologies for all the confusion, but we're here. We're doing feedback now. That was Ion V, wonderful Studio Ghibli inspired piece. I just shared some notes on how to take the chords and make them sound more Studio Ghibli-esque through open spacing and kind of rolling at the beginning. You don't have to roll every chord, but the opening spaces help quite a bit for creating that airy open Studio Ghibli sound. So the next one, Polat. All right, request. I would love to hear some percussion writing tips. Excellent. So the percussion writing tips, this is going to depend on whether you're doing orchestral or kind of epic music. Ooh, looks epic. Let's see this. All right, all right. All right. Let's do this. There we go. There we go. Nice. Nice. All right, awesome. Oh, it's still going. Here we go. Oh, the nice quiet then. All right. A little bit more reverb and delay would help give your piano a bigger impact. There we go. Oh, images is fading out. All right. All right. Nice, nice. All right, good work, man. This is awesome. So, hold on. Couple things. First thing, I know you didn't ask about it, but a little bit of reverb. If you want to do something massive like this, you want a big orchestral, epic piece of music, and you want to swap to the piano, something that you can do is to instantly make it feel more impactful is to add piano. So this is a bit much. Let's get the size a bit bigger. Let's get the decay down to, let's say, 2.5 seconds. And so it's a subtle effect. We can hear it. With it on. It's a little subtle. You can make it more in your face. So if we bring the damping, let's bring it down a bit. Make it a bit bigger. You can hear a little bit. I'm not messing around too much, but that is, reverb is an effect that imitates the impact of a space. So when you are in a space, we can use a different reverb as well. When you are in a specific space and you are listening to a piece of music, the sound is going to hit your ears in 3 different waves. The first wave is going to be the direct sound that goes straight from the piano, straight to your ears, doesn't hit anything else. The second wave is going to be called the early reflections. And this is the sound that goes straight from the piano, bounces off a wall or two, and then comes to your ears. And the third one is going to be called kind of like the tail, where it's the sound wave that bounced all over the room in a bunch of different places, and then eventually makes its way to your ears as a little bit of a wash of sound. Now, the way you kind of create this space, so lots of people think that reverb is all about creating echoes. It's not. It's about recreating a physical space for your sound. So, for example, we were to go to presets, and we went to halls, went to a large hall. Let's bring this mix down to about 20. Because mix, you can think a bit about it as about how far away your instrument is. You can hear the impact, that little tail at the end. If you watch this oscilloscope, you see how it takes a little while for the sound to completely go away. Now, if we turn this off, oh well, I guess the oscilloscope isn't a very good example, but you can hear the difference. Immediately dies. Takes a little bit longer, right? If we turn it off, you can look over here. No, this isn't exactly a good example either, but so just listen to your ears instead. So that's a bit off. I know that wasn't what you were asking for. I don't even know if that was a useful lesson or not, but you wanted tips about percussion. Now it looks like you wanted to do more kind of epic sounds. So epic percussion. There are essentially 3 basic types of epic percussion. 3 rules that you should have at least. There are timekeepers, there are hits, and then there are basically rhythms. All right, let's see any questions here. Okay, let's see. Percussion is a good question. I never know exactly the right way as it should go when doing classical styles. What orchestral library do you recommend, Nucleus or BBC ESO? Unfortunately, I can't recommend either of them because I don't use either of them. I do tend to use Spitfire, so like BBSCO, I've heard good things about. Personally, the ones that I recommend are just the ones that you know the best. So sure, some libraries sound better, but the ones that you know how to play around with and get the sound that you want, those are going to be the best ones. Let's see, Black Hole Stereo. Before the transition, some down-going transition chords could have fit there in the end with some down-going bass. Yes, again, going based off what we were saying earlier about those transitions. A drummer would be interested in percussion tips. Oh, awesome. So, Alex Goodmanson can probably share some better tips for percussion, but for epic percussion, there are 3 basic tips, 3 basic types. There are the timekeepers. Timekeepers tend to be light and quick decay. All right, so you can think of things like sticks. The hi-hat or the ride cymbal are typically used for this. The timekeepers are used most typically to help create a constant beat. So if we go here, let's do here one of these things. Let's do Albion 1, just because it's an easy library to work with. Let's go with, is it the Darwin Percussion Ensemble? I don't use Spitfire, the Albion 1 library that much anymore, so might take a little bit of time to look for. Okay, so awesome. So sticks. Nope, this is not it. High sticks. C5. Okay, we'll do C5. C5 is high sticks. So to create a high sticks, just something quick decay like that, you are going to just create constant 8th notes and or 16th notes. So let's do 120 BPM. Let's do 16th notes We'll zoom in a little bit. I hit Alt and click. There we go there. And so we've got a nice little... Oops. Let's mute the piano. All right, so maybe 16th notes are a bit much. Let's try at this tempo. Let's try leaving it 16th notes. Let's do 100 BPM. There we go. Awesome. So then the next thing you would do is, we'll delete this, I guess, so we can create a pattern, is once you've got your constant time, 16th notes or 8th notes, that create a backdrop for the rest of your rhythms, you can use velocity layers to create a bit more of a rhythmic identity. So velocity layers basically tell your computer how hard to hit each beat. So let's just say this is our... Let's do this. So this is our little idea. Let's bring these down a little bit to create a bit more of a... Exaggerate? Not that low. I gotta make sure that I'm not getting too sidetracked on all of these. Let's see here. Awesome. So yeah, we've got our idea. Again, constant notes. Let's actually write this down. Okay. Keep a constant rhythm, 8th or 16th notes. Form the backdrop for all other rhythmic elements. Use velocity to create more interesting ideas. All right, so that's our timekeepers. So if we repeat this, we've got a nice little 4-bar idea here. We've got our timekeepers. All right, so awesome. We've got our timekeepers. The next one are hits. Large, heavy drums. All right. Long decays. Used to highlight important beats and accents. All right. Form the foundation of your groove. All right, so heavy hits, big heavy drums. They're not quite the same as a kick drum on a drum kit because the kick forms the groove. But here we just want nice, strong beats. So let's see, what are the heavy drums here? Sub hits are going to be C0. So we'll do C0 and E1 is what we'll do here. Do C0. So then we're just going to use these to highlight the strong beats. And sometimes you can use them to add a little bit more personality. So this isn't a strong beat. I'm going to bring it down so that the loop, in fact, I'm going to do this on the quarter note. We've got our timekeepers and our hits. And again, the hits, you can use this on a larger scale. You want to just find basically the strong beats that you want to accent. So then the last element, hold up, let me check the questions real quick. I am a drummer. Okay, awesome. Ooh, so Pranav, hey, happy to be back here. Looking forward to learning some nice percussion tips. Awesome. Do you recommend having the same overall rhythm section for an entire song, or do you prefer making a lot of variations for different sections? It depends on the song, but yes, I would say you want to have some variation to your percussion. The same way you would with any other section. The percussion instruments are legitimate instruments, and if you just spammed the woodwinds for the entire piece of music, you're not making the most out of it. One of the tricks behind orchestration is using only what you need. All right, so instead of thinking, how do I use the flutes? All right, awesome, I wrote the part for the first violins, now what do I have the clarinets do? Or what can I have the trumpets doing? You want to think of it as an arrangement. All right, here's my melody. What instruments can I use to perform this melody? Are there any beats that I want to help emphasize for this melody? Awesome, my melody is arranged. Next, I want a counter melody. Who can I use to do my counter melody? You think about the layers and the texture that you want to create for your orchestra. instead of trying to think about the instrumentation. So the same thing goes for the percussion. There are quieter moments. That's something great that this arrangement did, is there was variation that Polak did. There were sections where the instrumentation changed and the size changed. That's very important. If music is constantly getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets boring or overwhelming or very fatiguing to your ear. So you want to make sure that you get bigger and then boom, have times where you come back down. Help reset your audience's ear to make space to keep building from there, if that makes sense. So we were doing percussion for Epic Percussion. The last one was... the last one is the rhythm. This is where you create the interesting... so strong drums, oftentimes, used to flesh out the rhythmic identity of your percussion. Often use patterns and structures to create something more interesting. All right, so whereas the hits only hit like the strong beats, and the timekeepers, their predominant responsibility is keeping a constant rhythm. The hits, your rhythms, can do something a bit more interesting, where you can create like a rhythmic identity. So if we can think about it, we can create something that is like, this is period structure, an idea, a new idea, repeat the original idea, find a way to end it. We can flesh this out. Then we were going to do one of these. Because quarter notes are a little boring. We can kind of double this up. Oops. Wrong hotkey. Alright, so stupid little rhythm, not all that impressive, but again, this is just a quick live demonstration. So something I would do, I'd probably bring this back because it's not hitting as hard with the hits. And of course, I'm getting annoyed and I want to spend a lot more time making this sound better. But the idea is pretty much the same. And I've got a lot more pieces to review, so I can't get stuck here. So again, Epic Percussion. Timekeepers, quick sounds with very quick decay, meaning that you hit and the sound almost immediately dies out. Constant 8th or 16th notes, they form the backdrop for all other rhythmic elements. They use velocity to create more interesting idea. Hits, large heavy drums with long decays. You hit it and it takes a while for the sound to fully disappear. Used to highlight important beats and accents, and they found the foundation of your groove. And then rhythms is you use lots of strong drums, typically toms and other mid-range drums. You flesh out the rhythmic identity of your percussion, create some kind of really cool kind of rhythmic thing. When you think of the pounding drums, that's usually this roll. When you think about like the Mad Max, like just going crazy, really cool rhythms, it's this roll, basically. Sometimes they have a lot in common with the timekeepers, where it's like a straight rhythm. It's just using really cool velocities to create an identity. But this is what you typically have for the drum section. So this is pretty much the identity of your percussion section, and these two ideas help support it, if that makes sense. One day I really should do a deeper dive into orchestral percussion. So that's Epic Percussion. If you want to do more with more kind of orchestral percussion, there tend to be 7 typical uses. Doubling for color, ostinati, then extreme dynamics. They can be used for solo statements. They can use for highlighting accents. You can use them for harmonic support. And then you can use them for builds and climaxes. These are the 7 most common uses for the percussion section. If you want to learn more about this, check out my academy. I have a whole section, a whole free class, 100% free, on my website, tabletopcomposer.com. The academy has 4 classes. My Orchestration 1 class is all about instrumentation, and it goes much more in depth on how each of these 7 uses can be used for the percussion section. All right, awesome. Let's see. Welcome, Sleep Station. Welcome, Tamashi. If your internet hits the 1 hour mark, then make a new stream. Yes. All right, I'm a little worried about that too. My internet tends to glitch out for whatever reason at an hour. Within Thin Ice, do you have any tips on making string arrangements that are more alive than just melody, line on top, and chords? My voice leading is pretty smooth for the chords, but it's not really going anywhere. Yes, I do actually. I've got to get on to other pieces for reviews, but if you want to learn more, I would recommend look up my videos on part writing. So harmony for composers. Let's do it here. If you want more lively string parts, harmony for composers, part writing. Look up that video. And then look up counterpoint. And you can also look up writing ostinati. Look up any of these with just my name. And you're going to find these videos. These 3 videos will help a lot for helping you understand how to create more interesting string parts. Welcome. All right. So awesome. Awesome. So Shipshakar Aroy offering some great advice. Let's do the next one, shall we? Because I can't believe we're like 40 minutes in. I've only done 2 reviews. So, Alphonse Neifel. I'm so sorry for butchering your name. Request, I would be very happy to get some feedback on the mixing if it's possible. Additional notes, I present to you Eisenbangel Plankel 1906. I apologize. I do not speak. I speak English and I speak Spanish, but no European languages. I apologize. I guess Spanish is technically a European language. But I associate with Latin America because I'm half Mexican. This time with lyrics. I'm not a good singer, but it's good training, I guess. Ooh, that's right. This is one of the ones in the last live stream. The lyrics and also the style of the song are a Sabaton parody. So power metal with history lyrics, although mine are pretty stupid. Haha. All right, awesome. Let's listen to this, shall we? All right, so you want tips on the mix. Let's do this. Oh, I remember this one. I'm sorry for laughing. I enjoy it. I really do. It reminds me of Rammstein. That's the only German band I have experience with. Here we go.
Von 1996 erwacht. In den Tiefen der Geschichte 1906.
That's right, this is the first lyrical song. That's awesome. No, it's not. It's the first one of this stream.
Franzosen und Deutsche auf Schienen der Macht. Ihre Strecken verlaufen parallel in der Nacht. Eisen, Räder, Schienen, Stahl, Tanz. Eisen, Räder, Schienen, Krieg ohne Glanz. Stahl und Dampf im Morgengrauen. Eingeklemmt, Züge im Bau. Firmen kämpfen, Gleise der Macht. Das Echo von 1996 erwacht.
Nice guitar solo.
Rauch verhüllt die Wahrheit, der Nebel des Kriegs. Die
we go.
durch Gleise getrennt. In diesem Duell, das niemand kennt. Eisen, Räder, Schienen, Stahl, Sand, Tanz. Eisen, Räder, Schienen, Krieg ohne Glanz. Stahl und Dampf im Morgengrauen, Eingeplänkel, Züge im Bau. Firmen kämpfen, Gleise der Macht. Das Echo von 1906 uns erwacht.
I really like that. That's fun. I would listen to that going to the gym. I really would. All right, so feedback. Unfortunately, you asked about mixing. I'm not the person to ask about mixing lyrical music. All right, I can share some rudimentary kind of tips and stuff for orchestral music, but when it comes to mixing voices in, I'm not very experienced nor knowledgeable. The one thing I will say is that listening to this, the solo vocalist at times felt very focused, very narrow within the stereo field. So maybe, and again, this is just my personal taste, I'd say maybe try widening the solo. So I noticed that when you did like the backup vocals of yourself, you were far right, far left, and anyone else who was using headphones would notice that as well. And that was nice. It created a nice kind of wider sound. I felt like your solo voice was a bit narrow at times. If you were to open it up a bit, I'm not sure how, again, because this is not my area of expertise. I feel like creating a slightly wider sound for your soloist would work really, really well. Help give it more presence. Maybe just a little bit of reverb to it. Not a lot, but to glue it all together. Remember we talked earlier how reverb is meant as a way to emulate a room, the impact that a specific room has on your sound. One of the biggest reasons that reverb gets used in a lot of pieces is to help glue all of the instruments together, especially if you're using a bunch of different sound libraries or a bunch of different instruments. If you put all of them with just a little bit of reverb glue to help them all get impacted by the same room, then it helps it make it sound a lot more interesting. So putting a little more reverb as glue on your voice would work well, I think, and opening it up to a bit of whatever stereo field. However, that being said, like I said, this is not my area of expertise. This is not the genre I tend to work with, and mixing just doesn't tend to be one of my strong suits either way. But I really enjoyed this. All right, this is a fun piece. Let's see what everybody's got to say. All right, awesome. People seem to be enjoying it. Shipsucker Roy, is it okay if my music is a bit over the 3-minute mark? It's actually 2 minutes 58, as I didn't really consider making it over 3 as per the rules. Oh yeah, it's all right. You don't need So this piece was like 30 seconds over. I'm fine if your piece is a little bit over the 3-minute marker. In the past, I have received like 9 and 10-minute long pieces though, and so that's what I'm trying to avoid, is having to sit, because even for me, like listening to 9 to 10 minutes music, that's a lot to take in with just one listen and give feedback on. Plus, I mean, it's just a lot for the live stream. So if you're a little bit higher, as long as you don't break into like the 4-minute region, you're probably good. All right, Patu, hi everyone. Where can I recommend my music? Awesome, Patu. So to recommend your music for future streams, everybody, I make announcements as posts on both YouTube and Instagram. I can actually show you the one that I made for Instagram or for YouTube. This one was a little hidden. Content. Nope. Let's go to my channel. Content, community. This one. Nope, not that one. Not this one right here. So, celebrating 5 years of being on YouTube, helping people write music. I had it in the description. To celebrate, I'm doing 3 things, and I had a big breakdown. Too long, didn't read. I mentioned that I was doing this. And then if you went through here, you see the very first one you swipe to says I'm providing feedback on your music during Friday's live stream. Read description on the details for how to submit. Other times, I will make posts like... I've done ones in the past. I'll do less announcements like this. So follow me, subscribe to me on YouTube to find out, and you'll have instructions on when to do it. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I make posts there as well. In addition to this live stream, I'm also having a sale on all the books on my website, everything on my bookstore. So if you go to my website, tabletopcomposer.com, you go to the bookshop, you will see I have everything 15% off. No coupon codes necessary. In fact, this one right here, I've got it on my desk. At least I've got one of the earlier editions that I was editing through. This book right here, Music Composition Textbook, 400 pages, 35 chapters, Takes you literally from everything from understanding what pitch is all the way to making realistic mock-ups with your DAW. This is the book that I always wanted when I started. It covers literally pretty much everything I know. Since I've written it, I've learned more stuff, but the whole point is it's supposed to take you from being someone who just enjoys music and has zero idea of how to write it, all the way to someone who can make professional quality arrangements. All right, so this one is for sale. Next to it, this book is the one I am next most proud of. This one is a book that goes in detail on how music portrays emotions, why we hear emotions in music, and more importantly, how you can control emotions with your music. All right, so both of them are on sale. This one I'm proud of because I went to school to be a therapist, and then I ended up not being a therapist. I ended up being a composer instead. So this is kind of like the merging of my two passions. And then this one I'm proud of because I have struggled very, very much in my journey to becoming a composer, feeling like education was just very much gatekept. It was very difficult to get a good education. And so if you want, you can look through the table of contents. You can see right here, reading music pitch, reading music rhythm, all the way, modal harmony, secondary dominance and modulation. It's split into 3 parts. Part 1 is about chord progressions, initial theory and composition fundamentals. It teaches you how to make chord progressions, interesting chord progressions, emotional chord progressions, effective chord progressions. That's the main focus. Then part 2 is all about melody writing and sketching pieces and structuring full-length pieces so that you can go beyond the first 8 bars. And then once you have a sketch, part 3 is all about orchestrating it. We go into each of the sections as instrumentation, as well as actual arranging strategies. And then all the way, like writing idiomatically for strings, writing idiomatically for woodwinds, for brass, keyboards, percussion, harp. So like I talked about earlier, where is it? Oh yeah, these are those 7 rolls I've talked. See, pages 347 to 348. 2 pages where it goes in depth on each of these roles, and then the most common instruments to be used and stuff. And then a chapter on mixing, basics of mixing for orchestral music. And then, again, a chapter for that. So then it goes on, glossary of terms is what takes it up to about 400 pages. So yeah, all this on sale. Check it out. It's part of the celebration. And then Tuesday, I'm doing another live stream where I will compose a full 5-minute, 1 minute per year, celebration piece of music, and it will be for orchestra. You'll watch me go from scratch, a completely empty DAW, to a fully orchestrated arrangement. All right, awesome. So there we go. Let's see here. All 3 of these pieces have been great. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this as well. So glad people are enjoying it. We're gonna recommend my music. Oh yeah, so awesome. Yes, post-production. We're looking forward to your book coming out into print. Do you have any updates to share about that? Unfortunately, not yet. My publisher has had it for 2 years. It has gone through multiple rounds of peer review. They have all been remarkably positive. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little frustrated because like my editor just seems to move very, very slowly. She's wonderful. She's a very wonderful person. I love working with her. It's like, come on, you had it for 2 years and it's still not printed. So this was, like I said, the first edition. I use this. You can actually, if I go through this, you can see like where I marked it up with pen and markers and highlighters. Taking notes on things I wanted to update and change. And so yeah, unfortunately no updates on when it's going to be printed. But yeah, you can always get it online and then print it yourself if you'd like. Let's see, Bucko also doubling the growling with a version of the growling with some FXs. Ooh, nice. So we're getting some good ideas. Tamashi, when did you pick up the trumpet? Age-wise, and what age did you start singing? Oh, I started singing in 1st grade just because like music classes and stuff. I didn't start getting training until like high school. And then it wasn't until college that I actually started working with like a solo, like a one-on-one coach for singing. And she helped prep me for my audition for Berkeley. And it was, so that's, yeah. So I guess I've been singing my whole life basically, just didn't start doing it like seriously until around like grad school, I think, when I decided I want to be a composer. Trumpet, I picked that up in 5th grade. So I want to say like 10 years old maybe? I don't know. I'm bad at ages. Would have been about 2005. So 2005. So yeah, about 10 because I was born in 1995. So then 2005, that's be about, yeah, so I was about 10 years old when I picked up trumpet, and I did that all the way through high school. Took 4 years off in college because it was kind of like a family tradition to be very passionate about music and then give it up to get a real job. Took 4 years off, and then when I started realizing I just couldn't run away from music and I wanted to make this my career, I picked up the trumpet, auditioned, got second chair in the campus band, which I was very shocked and excited about, because trumpet, I feel like, is the instrument that comes most naturally to me. And so, yeah, there we go. Let's see here. Thanks for the description. Wonderful. All right, do you have fantasy role? Like Prince, Knight, Samurai, Mage, Ninja, or like Dragon, or like an... I'm not sure. So, fantasy role? Like, what do you mean? Like, for like D&D? In D&D, I like magic users. I really do. But I also tend to play rogues very often. But never the edgelord. I've never been an edgy rogue. I've always been more of... When I play rogues, it's typically more like a bard type personality. Roy seems like it was influenced. Awesome. The way mixing is an art in itself. Yes, very much. Mixing. There's a reason why there are entire degrees based on mixing. Maybe bloodline. Oh, nice. Ships and car. Awesome. Changing things up, right? Setting a new line for yourself. That's awesome. So, speaking of Ship Shankar Roy, here we go. Let's listen to yours, my friend. All right, so requests. How do you find good chords for melody? In other words, so like, how do you harmonize a melody? So in other words, tips for harmonizing a melody. When a melody is played by strings, how do you use woodwinds and brass to enhance it? Okay, we can talk about that. Is my music clear and bass lines working? And overall feedback on the orchestration. All right, Ship Shankar Roy. I am a 17-year-old guy from the previous live stream feedback, and I have noted and implemented the things you told me, such as the principles of clarification and bass line tips in this music. The volume might be slightly low, so it's recommended to turn up the volume if the music is too quiet. This music is also rendered by Note Performer, so not pricey orchestral libraries. That's fine. All right, we don't need high-quality sound libraries to appreciate good music, right? Let's give it a listen.
If re-elected, Trump would ban abortion and women.
Political ads. No. This is a non-political channel. This is a music channel. All right, 2, 1, boom. Dude. That's beautiful. Very well done. Bravo, Shipshakar. And especially you saying you have no music teachers. This is amazing. Good job, my friend. All right, so, but on that note of not having a music teacher, you've got me, right? I have over 200 videos on YouTube. I think it's like over 260 at this point. So there are so many resources out there. Not that you need it, because it sounds like you've got a good idea, but the Academy is, again, something on my website. 100% free classes. This is for everybody out there who's looking for a structured education but can't afford it or can't go to school for whatever. 4 free classes: harmony, melody, orchestration, orchestration 2. You've got the textbook I've got, and I also teach private lessons. So you can learn more about those here, but we're focusing here, all right? Wow, that's beautiful. All right, that is a beautiful arrangement. Especially, it sounds very classical, very romantic era orchestral music. All right. I'm a little at loss for words at the moment in terms of like feedback to give you, especially 17 years old. You are way, way more advanced than I was at your age. I did not write my first piece of music until I was 21. All right, so I'm a late bloomer. And in terms of like having like no qualifications, that's why one of my favorite composers is Rimsky-Korsakov, who is a very famous Russian composer who is mostly famous for his influence. He's had a couple symphonies that he's very famous for, but most of his fame comes from the sheer influence, the number of amazing composers that he directly influenced and taught, and the people that they taught. He's had a massive impact on like the line of modern music because of his teachings, and he came from 0 qualifications. They were opening a conservatory in St. Petersburg, I believe at the time. And he was a prominent composer who had 0 idea and 0 musical training. And he was asked, would you be a professor here? And he was in his early 20s and he said, sure, I'll do it. And he said if he had had any idea, any like iota of his lack of knowledge, he would have said no right off the bat. And so he's one of those teachers who had to stay 1 lesson ahead of his students to learn how to like teach what to teach them. That's how I kind of feel myself at times. Now I feel a lot more well established, but especially when I started, I had no business starting this YouTube channel. So it is this beautiful, beautiful work, my friend. Tips for harmonizing a melody. I'm going to share a couple just basic ideas. Let's see here. So notepad. Harmonizing. So first, find the target tones in your melody. All right, the target tones are the notes that are longest and played on strong beats. All right. Select chords that contain your target tones. All right. I'm going to say, and we'll just say trial different chords while trying to create some sort of pattern. All right. I've done videos about this, so you can also, again, look up Tabletop Composer, harmonizing melodies. In fact, let's just do that together, which will go much more in detail. Tabletop Composer, harmonizing melodies. I've been doing this long enough. I'll say harmony for composers. My playlist comes up. Harmony, voice leading, writing melody. How to write a strong motif. Tertiary harmony. So it's this particular video doesn't pop up, but if you go to this playlist, harmony for composers, you will see harmonizing melodies video number 10. This video will basically explain it. So hopefully that helps. But wonderful work, my friend. That was a beautiful, beautiful piece. All the pieces so far have been just straight up bangers. So congratulations, everybody. Let's see. Let's get caught up on the comments. Yes, very good work. So yeah, looks like positive feedback from everybody. Tamashi, since it's your 5-year anniversary, any crushes, girlfriends are seen to be loved. All right. So I appreciate the look into my life, Tamashi. This is, just to be clear, this is from a straight male named Matt Von Roy. Not sure who, I'm not sure who Matt Von Roy is, but I will say, typically, I don't like to share my personal life. All right? I'm here to teach music. That's fine. You want to ask personal questions? Go for it. Just, I won't always answer. Probably the best looks into my personal life you're going to get is from random tangents I go on. But I appreciate the interest. All right? Welcome back, Alex. No worries. We're still going strong. Amazing music. Thank you. And congrats on 5 years. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I'm really excited, too. I'm really enjoying kind of the celebration as well. Just being able to kind of celebrate. I can't believe I've been doing this for 5 years. The time's gone by way so fast. Yeah, people just kind of geeking out over Ships and Cars music. This is wonderful. Awesome. So yeah, wonderful. Awesome. So yeah, excellent feedback, everybody. Excellent music. Ships and Cars. This is wonderful. All right, so on to Sleep Station Alpha. The request. I am interested in your thoughts on whether the melody goes into enough interesting places or if it's too repetitive. Depends on the genre. What could I do to improve it? It's basically notes over an upbeat chord progression, and I was trying to bring out the sense of some fits and starts and an uphill climb. All right, let's do it. Let's listen to it.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
Look. This is us.
So first on...
Ooh. I like the vibes. The delay and reverb are nice. There we go. Nice incremental complexity. Adding new layers. That's good. Interesting. Is that like an oboe? I love the vibe, and the picture goes perfectly with it. Nice. Pulling back, that's good. So it leaves room to grow again. There we go. This reminds me of something. Like a game or something. I'm trying to remember what it... This is throwing me. It reminds me of some kind of vibe. Something video game related. I love the hybrid quality of acoustic instruments and synths. awesome. All right, wonderful. Bravo. So, couple things right off the bat. First one is an issue of continuity. Beautiful piece. I love the vibes established with the synths early on. All right, with lots of reverb, the delay, which a delay is just means it's echoes. All right, reverb and delay oftentimes get confused because reverb can create echoes and delay can create the illusion of space. But the main difference is that delay, the primary focus is making echoes, whereas reverb, the primary focus is imitating the effects of a sound. So first thing for continuity, if you are going to use lots of reverb on the synths to create the backdrop, you want to use at least a little bit on the oboe and the orchestral instruments, because again, you want them to sound like they're in the same space. So if you're going to have, again, kind of like very high reverb, then you want, nope, not this one. If you're going to create, let's see here, let's do contact. Let's see how fast my computer can load one of these. Let's go to the oboe solo. Let's do individual articulations, oboe solo. Let's do oboe long. If you are going to have just kind of a simple, kind of, not simple, but it's a beautiful, beautiful kind of arrangement. If you're going to have that up front, that's great, but make sure you put it in the same room as the others. So let's say like halls, let's do large hall. All right, so that's a bit much. Reverb mix basically says how much of the sound is that direct sound. Remember, reverb has to do with 3 types of sound. One is the direct sound, the sound that goes directly from the oboe to your ears, nothing gets in the way. Then the early reflections, which has to do with sounds that go straight from the oboe, bounce off maybe a chair or a person or something, and then make it to your ears. And then the actual tail, which is the sound that bounces all over the place and then eventually makes its way to you. The mix is basically how much of the direct sound you get. In other words, the higher the mix, the farther away the instrument is. So if we've got this, it's mostly tail and mostly early reverberations. If we bring this down, it's mostly direct sound. So if you're going to use a very atmospheric, you can bring down the tail a little bit so it doesn't have as strong of a wash. Whatever you're going to do, if you're going to have reverb on all of the synths, make sure you include at least some on the orchestral instruments as well to create that sense of everyone's in the same space. Everyone's in the same room. That'll help glue the different qualities together. All right, so then the other thing about the repetition, I think it sounded fine, especially in kind of this atmospheric type music that seems that you were trying to write in. Repetition is golden, all right? That's fine, that's great. That's par for the course. However, if you are going to get repetitive, the trick, let's see here. Let's get a notepad open. To make more mileage, or to get, I should say, out of repetitive ideas. All right? First one that you did, incremental complexity. Great. All right? You did that very well. Incremental complexity just means you start with one idea, you start very simple, and you start gradually adding layers. That's great. However, another one you can do is as you repeat sections, change the texture. All right? Remember that texture equals the number and type of layers. John Williams does this a lot. So does Hans Zimmer, where they will take a melodic idea. They will repeat it over and over again, but to keep it from getting bored, maybe the first time you hear it, it's melody solo. Then it repeats, and now it's melody, chords, and bass line. Then it repeats again. Now it's melody and rhythmic chords. Then it repeats again. It's another solo. Then it repeats again, and now it's counterpoint. There's a bunch of different layers playing all at the same time. But you change the texture each time, sometimes changing the instruments. Sometimes your melody is on top in terms of like pitch. Sometimes it's being played by low voices and everybody else is going. Move your idea around different registers. So sometimes your melody is up here being played by the oboe. Sometimes it's down here being played by a low bassoon, whatever. So you move it around. So even though it's repetitive, you give enough changes, enough variation that it still sounds fresh, right? Does that make sense? I hope it's helpful. Great piece. I love the vibes it was giving. Like I said, it reminded me of something. I wish I could put my finger on it. All right, awesome. So, welcome. Let's see where we're at. Oboe. There we go. Yep. I didn't know you can cook in your sleep. Thanks. Oh, this was awesome. Welcome. Awesome. There we go. When is your birthday? No stalking, just for sun sign. I'll announce. I think I've announced my birthday before. It's in August. I'll share that much. If I could buy any car in the world, what would it be? 1975 Ford Thunderbird. I'll put it over here. 1975 Ford T-Bird, I'll say. I like this look of a car. Now, here's what I'm going to say. My dream car, it's one of these, but I would gut it. All right? I love the look. I'm not much of a car guy, but I love the way these cars look. I would gut it, put in all new safety features like airbags, headrests, good belts, steering wheels that can collapse in an accident. And I would also want to gut everything under the hood and give it more than just 12 miles per the gallon, right? So I like this look, but I would like the modern amenities. Wonderful. Awesome. So awesome. Great. Let's move on, shall we? Let's see here. So Sleep Station Alpha, Visme, one of the regulars. Request, there is no use of dominance, so it's rather sub-dominant heavy. Does this lack of pull make the song boring? It won't. But does the instrumentation ever get too much? All right, the song name is Home. Ah, tricky. This is a Google Drive. We'll see. All right, so unfortunately, Visme, as a rule, I apologize, but as a rule, I don't download links. All right, I know you've submitted many in the past, and I am likely to trust you, but I try to stick to my rules. I do not download links from people I don't know in person. Visme, if you are on the stream and you want to send me a quick SoundCloud or YouTube link, I would be happy to listen to it that way. But apologies, my friend, I'm sorry. We'll move on to G Genki for now. I'll keep an eye out to see if you're on here, Visme, and if you can share another link. Request, I'd like some feedback on the melodies because I finished a playlist about it. Oh, awesome. You finished my playlist on melodies. Wonderful. Other than that, maybe on the arrangement because, but since it's not done yet, I might change it up all again. All right. So additional note, it's not really mixed. It's just demo settings. All right. Awesome. So let's listen to it. As a fellow neurodivergent, I love the title. There we go. Melody sounds good. It's catchy. I love this. This is definitely giving me Sonic vibes. Love the changes in size. It works really well to keep it interesting. I love it. All right, awesome. So, I don't really have any feedback for the melodies or the arrangement, so I'm going to instead talk about things I really enjoyed about this. All right, first off, the arrangement, I loved how you changed texture and size quite frequently. All right, again, these are ways to get a lot of mileage. When you hear about adding contrast in your music, this is what they're talking about. All right, so creating contrast in your arrangement. So give different sections different textures. All right, well, let's highlight this. So you give it different textures, different instrumentation, different melodies, different registers, different sizes. These were 5 things that you did very well in this arrangement. All right, just when things start to get a little boring or start to getting, no, not boring, but a little repetitive, you would swap to a new section, and that section would have different textures. So again, that's the number and types of different layers. Whether you went from kind of rhythmic groove and melody on top to just cutting everyone out and just having the melody, that's a great way to do it, because that not only does textures, but it does size as well. Whether you moved the melody up or down to different registers worked really well. Changing between different themes worked well. And of course, changing instrumentation. These are ways to keep your arrangements interesting, people. If you are constantly building in just one direction, it's going to get boring quickly and it's going to get fatiguing to your ear. So if you want to build and build and build, you need to bring it down at points as well. Every time you change sections, that is a prime opportunity. When you change a melody or go to like the B section or something, that is a great opportunity to reset one or more of these, to change the texture, to change the register, to change the size, to help keep things fresh by giving your audience something new. All right, so wonderful arrangement. I really enjoyed it. Melody, it sounds great. You must have had a good teacher, right? Haha, I'm saying that because you said you watched my playlist on melody writing. Everybody else, go watch my playlist on melody writing. Or, as a reminder, you can learn all about melody writing and structuring music with my Music Theory and Melody 1. 100% free class. The Academy is my passion project. Free music education. 18 lessons, 18 steps. Or, if you would like to support your boy and help me afford my bills and whatnot, you can also get my textbook, which is currently on sale. Again, that's this one right here on my desk. I have this printed copy. I printed it off at like an Office Depot kind of thing as I was editing for my editor. 35 chapters, 400 pages, teaches you literally everything you could possibly want to know. You can be someone who has no idea how to write music, you just enjoy music and you want to learn something. You can pick up this book, and by the time you're done reading it and practicing all the exercises that it includes, you will be able to write for full orchestra with impunity. Check it out. Lots of cool books on my website. Awesome work, Genki. All right, let's see here. All right, thanks for the tip. Wonderful. Jack. Let's see here. This baby got 115 tracks. Really? That is awesome. Wonderful. Awesome. So Alex, you're the one who wrote this. That's awesome. If you could go anywhere like the mountains, seas, or like space, what would you choose? I'm loving the question, Samashi. I love the ocean. I love large spans of water. I am fortunate to live in Michigan. Michigan is surrounded by some of the largest bodies of fresh water in the world. They're called the Great Lakes. So I love going to the Great Lakes. I live within driving distance of Lake Michigan. So, or at least for Americans. I've heard that other countries think that our driving distances are crazy. For me, to get to Lake Michigan, it's an hour and a half drive, 90 minutes. For me, it's like, awesome. Yeah, that's a great, I'll just zip down there, see the beach for a little bit, and come back kind of thing in a day, and that's great. I don't know what your perspective on that is, but I think it's within driving distance. I think it's awesome. So I love the water. Let's see here. Tomashi, I think I also sent you an email for feedback. Oh, for feedback? The deadline was last night at midnight. So if you sent it, if I got time, I'll review it. But if not, I will save pieces for the next stream. Speaking of saving pieces for the next stream, no, never mind. Francisco is the one who sent a piece for the last stream but missed the deadline, and so I'm doing it this time. But now we're going to do Viper Siren. All right, so link to music request. Does the main melody evoke any emotion or tell a story? That's up to you. What story were you going for? Are the drums too overpowering or busy that it negatively affects the arrangement? Do the solos feel purposeful or just a bunch of noise? And is there anything that particularly stands out or is a turnoff? All right, additional notes. This is my attempt to write a song-inspired Polyphia, Studio Ghibli, and indie/math rock. That is an interesting combination. All right, let's figure this out. It's very minimalistic, and the drums are mostly the highlight. Awesome. Let's listen to it.
If you're taking a trip with your friends,
definitely getting kind of anime vibes. There we go. Here we go. I love it. Nice. All right, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's look back at your requests. Okay, so the main melody evoke any emotion or tell a story. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's catchy and energetic. For me, it felt like an anime opener. All right, as you can probably tell, I am an anime fan. I am a basic anime fan. All right, I watched a lot of anime, but they're all just kind of like normies. I grew up with Naruto and Death Note as like my openers, and basically just kind of mainstream anime. But to me, that's the vibe I got. Are the drums too overpowering or busy that it negatively affects the arrangement? I don't think they're overpowering. And a few times I feel like it got, like some of your transitions, if you are going to, as a drum kit, as kind of a general guideline, if you are going to move away from the beat and do kind of like a solo kind of thing, you should have someone else pick up the beat. We've talked about those timekeepers with the epic percussion, where you have like the constant 8th notes, constant 16th notes. Those are important because they provide context to everybody else. They provide an anchor that the rest of the drums and percussion and rhythmic elements can kind of be compared to. So I would say if you're going to do something crazy with the drums, you should have at least like a bass guitar kind of thumping away at the beat, doing something to keep and give context. Solos felt really awesome. I don't think they felt like a bunch of noise. Again, the mix, you could work on the mix, but I'm not the person to ask for advice on mixing. No, nothing really stood off as a turnoff. I would just say a couple areas to work on. Like I said, the drums, if you're going to do a drum solo and do something cool like that, like a fill, have a bass guitar or someone in the backdrop, maybe keyboards. Keyboards and bass guitar tend to be really good at this, to kind of pluck away at the beat and provide context, which will make your drum kit sound way more cool. Because now you can tell that it's doing all this kind of cool syncopation and stuff. Because you've got a reference. And then just work on the mix. Kind of spreading the instruments out across the stereo field, adding a little bit of glue, reverb to put them all in the same space. Lots of really cool tricks you can learn. Again, I'm not the person to ask about mixing this genre of music, but there's no shortage of amazing YouTubers who can teach you about mixing. Yeah, I liked it. Really good piece. All right, excellent work, Viper. Let's see what everybody's questions are. Jack, all I know about American travel times is that you can drive for 3 days and not get through Texas. Yes, America is massive, people. I am in Michigan. Michigan's not even known for being one of the biggest states. But I can drive for 6 hours going north and still not leave Michigan. All right? And that's considered like we're used to it. We're used to the country being so massive that long driving distances, it's not bad. My sister lives 2 hours away. For me, that's a day trip. I just take off 2 hours, get to her place. We spend the day together. We go out to lunch. We have a good time. And then I take off. I drive another 2 hours back home. 4 hours on the road in one day, that's reasonable. All right? That's like, oh, she's right around the corner kind of thing. Well, not right around the corner, but she's within visiting distance, all right? I don't have to plan a weekend around it. It's just our perspective. So yeah, the states are massive. They really, really are. Let's see here. The beats are awesome. Wonderful people giving feedback saying that. Yes, yeah, you can shred on drums, my friend. This is amazing. I like it. Let's see here. And Breaks, wonderful. Since you're also writing lyrics, what is your favorite sense, sight or touch, or favorite figure of speech? I'm not actually writing lyrics. For my current soundtrack, I am scoring lyrics. So I was given lyrics by the librettist, and I'm setting them to music. I don't have a lot of experience writing lyrics, but it's something that I'd like to learn and explore. The state of California and Canada have roughly the same population. Make it make sense. Yeah, well, in fairness, California is kind of a mess. California is just a bunch of people. All right. So yeah, California is its own animal of a state. Let's see here. So yeah, Francisco, speaking earlier of like Tamashi saying, Francisco submitted this piece for the last live stream feedback, but I unfortunately didn't get it before the stream started. I have the deadline because I have to make this list, all the feedback and stuff. And so if I don't get it before this list is done, but if I don't get it before the deadline, there's no guarantee that you're going to be on here. But I just added the next one. So I emailed Francisco, asked, hey, do you want me to add this on here? And this one is actually going to be a first for the channel. So the question is, does the orchestration work as it is? And how could I have taken a better approach to it? And the title is Amare Perdite. That's a terrible accent. I apologize. I don't think it's Spanish, but from my understanding of Spanish, I think this means like lost love, or love lost, something of that sort. This is what makes it unique for this stream. Recorded by the Fames Orchestra in North Macedonia. Some instruments like percussion are virtual. So this is going to be our first actual live performance kind of recording of an orchestra. Let's see what we can offer some feedback on, shall we?
If you're a content creator of any kind, you need to check out Motion Array. My name is Paul, filmmaker and YouTube.
Ooh, I love strings and harp as a way to open it. Reminds me of Dan Forrest's Requiem for the Living. we go. That was awesome. Wonderful. That was a first. First time watching a performance of someone's music. So wonderful. Bravo, Francisco. A couple comments. Tamashi. People are just showing off. No, there's no, you're not, music's not going to get roasted, Tamashi. Don't worry. This is a very supportive community. Everybody's has been amazing. Alex, watching both streams. I'm not streaming on two. Am I? Am I streaming on two videos? Is that even like possible? Content live. All right, yeah, I don't see myself streaming on two. Am I really streaming on two different videos at the moment? I swear, YouTube is frustrating at times. But wonderful, wonderful. So, your question, does the orchestration work as it is? Well, obviously, it's being performed, right? So there's two ways to take this, all right? Does the orchestration work? Is it playable? Obviously, it is because you've got your musicians playing it. But how could I have taken a better approach to it? How could you improve it? I thought it was wonderful, and I don't have too much to add. But obviously, this is a live feedback. I have to give everyone something. So around 1 minute and 30 seconds, you have this beautiful, beautiful melody in the strings. This one right here. Then it repeats. So you've got a nice repetitive melody here. Beautiful melody. And repetition is not a bad thing, people. Repetition helps you create get your audience familiarized with your music very quickly. But if you're going to do this, one way that you could improve this is to start shifting around the melody. So if you've got a very repetitive melody, to start adding variation through your instrumentation. Whether that means you're moving the melody around to different instruments, which you could do that. You could take it from the violins and add it somewhere else, but you don't have to. Another way you could do that is to gradually start adding different accompaniments. So instead of being constantly the harp in the background or constantly like the glockenspiel or whatever kind of pitched percussion you have, as the melody repeats that simple motif with a little bit of variation here and there, you can try adding some accompaniment above, some accompaniment below. You can add incremental complexity as more and more instruments from your orchestra come in. But rather than just keeping the same texture, same arrangement through the whole repetition, that's the way you can balance repetition with variation. So if I feel like I'm not getting my point across. But if you're having a melody that is built off a very repetitive motif like this, which is beautiful, beautiful motif, beautiful melody, to keep it interesting and keep it developing, you want to create differences in the background. All right, so bring in the celeste, bring in the piano, have it fade in, fade out. Add some woodwinds on your accompaniment for the first rendition. Then have the woodwinds fade out, and now the rest of the string section comes up. You can change the size. So maybe you start with just the violins, it sounds like playing the melody. And then you come back down with the sides. And then you bring back for the repetition, and now all the strings are playing the melody in octaves. The key here is that with the instrumentation, you can tell a story. Not just in the melody, but in the type of layers and arrangements underneath. If you watch my video on making arrangements, you'll notice that I talk about each section. You want to be conscious. How does your size change and how does your energy change? Those are two of the most fundamental ways you can keep things interesting. But that's just a little feedback, all right, because you asked for something. But this is a beautiful piece. Obviously, it works because the orchestra is playing it. Bravo. Fantastic job. Let's see here. Let's see, Alex Incredible. Oh, wait, you changed the name, so I thought there was two. Oh, yes, fortunately. Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. So true. I can't believe I didn't think about varying that. No worries, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful arrangement. Fantastic job. There's always something you can do change. I'm just grateful I was able to add something of value. All right? So I believe this brings us to the last person of the stream. Again, if you submitted music but you missed the deadline, don't worry. I'll hold on to it. The next review, I will add it unless you'd rather replace it with a different piece. All right. Post-fiction RPG audio. We have the link to the music here. The request, is there enough movement in this regarding to chord changes and dynamics? And is there enough difference between part A and part B? Awesome. Let's find out. But first, a little bit of ad. One last ad, people. The Academy. Free classes. All right? Get yourself a solid foundation in writing chord progressions, melodies, and arranging your music. If you want to take it to the next level, I have private lessons. You can work one-on-one. I have several of my students here in this chat right now. They are valuable, all right? You get to work with me on anything. Free resources, frequently asked questions you can get here. And again, last thing, as part of this celebration of 5 years on YouTube, I'm having a 15% off sale on everything. You can find slides and scripts from videos and series I've done. You can find all of my books. This one right here being one of the biggest. A massive book, textbook that teaches you everything about composing. Then this book right here, the only book out there that was written by a former therapist turned professional composer, that's me, on how you can control emotions with your music. It is a wonderful book, if I do say so myself. If you want to learn more about this book in particular, you can go to the Emotions of Music class, because this is basically just everything that was in the class. I unfortunately don't teach this class anymore just because my schedule has gotten so busy, but I might bring it back in the future. You can see all the wonderful testimonials I have from people all over the world who took the class. You can see frequently asked questions. You can see basically all the modules. This is basically the table of contents that will show you everything you will learn from this book. All right, so check it out. Everything is on sale until the end of Tuesday, which is the actual anniversary of this channel. So that is my last little ad for myself. Tuesday will be that awesome stream where I will write a full 5-minute piece of orchestral music live from start to finish. And let's listen to the last piece of music, shall we? All right. Ooh, a nice heavy piece. Very regal, stately, and solemn arrangement. Nice variation. Oh, there we go. The top violin part is beautiful. Beautifully complex and rich textures. That's wonderful. I love it. So let's talk about your request first. and then we can add a little bit more feedback. All right. Is there enough movement in this regarding to the chord change dynamics? Definitely. All right. So the idea of there being a checklist of how many chord changes you need to have or the dynamic changes you need to have, that's not as important so much as does your music tell the story you want it to tell. All right. And to tell the story, you just need the chord changes and the dynamics you need. And yes, there is sufficient difference between part A and part B. I would just recommend a slightly smoother transition between the two, which we talked about earlier and I have talked about in many previous streams. About find out the difference between part A and part B. Give yourself an allotted amount of time, 2, 4, 8 measures to make the transition, and then find a way to just gradually shift things, just one little detail at a time, until you have changed the main differences from part A to the main differences of part B. So whether that's like you have a faster tempo over here than over here, so you gradually increase the tempo. You're mostly brass over here, mostly strings over here, so you start dropping brass instruments and adding stringed instruments until it's a full transition. There's lots of cool stuff you could do. I've got videos on it. But my next thing would say, your string part, I loved it. All right. I am a sucker for beautifully rich textures with lots of layers going on. It was written very well contrapuntally, so they all played well together. I would just recommend learning a bit more about mixing. All right. Which again, I cover in this book, which you can get from my website. It's on sale. Or you can check out countless YouTube videos out there. I think I only have like one that talks about mixing, and it's part of my playlist of film scoring that I did with the Indie Film Music Contest. You can find that again on my playlist channel. So if you go over here, let's see here. If you go to my playlists on my channel, you will see, where is it? Nope, these are older ones. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, right here. Free film scoring class, Indie Film Music Contest. The very last one, mixing your music. It's a long stream. It's about an hour and a half, but I talk about some interesting stuff in there. Or, like I said, you can go to tabletopcomposer.com. You can show support and love for me and the work that I do by helping me pay for food, pay for my travels that I have to do for work. Because I'll be going to New York in end of April, beginning of May. I will be in New York City for the debut of a play that I have scored. I'll be there for a full week. So if anyone's there, let me know. I'd be happy to kind of meet up with people. But yeah, buying my books, paying for private lessons, making donations for the Academy, all these things help show support. And this book right here, like I said, has a chapter. If you go here and you want to check out the table of contents, there is a whole chapter dedicated to fundamental mixing techniques for orchestral music. And because I think a lot with your balance and panning out the string section a bit more would help create an even richer, more beautiful, more vibrant sound for that string section. Because there are some couple parts where like your staccato and short strings were louder than the lush kind of melody. There are moments where the strings kind of felt stacked on top of each other, so spreading them out across the stereo field would help quite a bit. And again, if you wanted to learn more, chapter 34, mixing your music, you learn about panning, reverb, equalization, compression, all kinds of really cool stuff. All right, so that's how you can show support. Everything is on sale, 15% off, no coupon code necessary. But yeah, I think this was really good, people. All right, so this has been almost like, what, a 2-hour stream? So I think I'm going to call it here. Let me check the questions real quick. Tamashi, I'm sorry for not getting to your piece. I'll get to it the next stream. I've got it now. Alex, when will your next feedback stream happen so I don't miss submitting something? The feedback streams moving forward, starting in April, will be the last stream of every month. So you can look at the last Friday of each month, and as long as I'm not out of town or not away from home for whatever reason, I will do a live stream where I give feedback on people's live music. You can submit it. Follow me on Instagram, at Tabletop Composer on Instagram. That's where I'm going to do the most advertising for the live feedback. But if you follow me on YouTube and subscribe, I make community posts as well. I will advertise for each one. Just keep an eye out for that. This is also something I'm considering. Would people be interested if I offered like paid feedback? where if I offer on my website, pay like what, 20, 25 bucks or something, I will listen to your music. I will listen to it multiple times instead of just once on the stream. And I will send a recorded feedback of me talking to you on camera, as well as like a page or two of written feedback of specific, like at this minute marker, etc. Would that be something that people are interested in? I'll probably post about that on Instagram to get kind of some market research going on. We'll see here. All right, so Deborah J. Yeah, I'm waiting for the next stream. Yes, I stream every Friday, 3 p.m. Detroit time. Some of the streams are lessons where I do a poll on Instagram and on YouTube where I ask people what they want the tutorial to be about, and I teach a tutorial, and then I open it up to Q&As. Some of them are just explain it like I'm 5 streams, where basically I just get on and people just, whatever question about music theory, it can be the simplest thing like, hey, I don't know what a dominant chord is. And I just explain it to you as simply as I can. Let's see here. So yeah, and then the last one of every month again is a feedback. Alex loves it. Awesome. If you like Layers, then you'll like my newest song. I'm excited to listen to it, Alex. I really am. Tamashi, it's just 1 minute and 30 minutes. Let me see, Tamashi. I'll check it out. Let's see here, because the weather changed overnight in Michigan, as it always does, and so my sinuses are like messing with me terribly right now. Because it went from like green grass and like blue skies to now we've got like 5 inches of snow out. And anytime the temperature changes like that, it messes with my sinuses a bit. Let's see here. Post-production, Alex Goodmanson, music, thanks. Roy, how about an announcement channel on the Discord channel? Oh yeah, I'll do. Ooh, good idea. Shipshanker Roy, yes, I do have a Discord channel. People, the easiest way to join my Discord channel, if someone has a link, please post it in the discussion, like the chat. But the easiest way to join my Discord channel is to just sign up for one of the free lessons. All right, one of the free classes on my Academy page. All of them have links to the Discord channel. Post-fiction RPG audio, tabletop gamers, really appreciate your advice. I will take all of that into account. Awesome! I'm glad. I love doing this stuff, guys. I really do. Alex Wilmanson, I don't have Instagram. No worries. That's why I post on YouTube as well. So if we go to my YouTube channel, let's see, your channel, and you go to community, you'll see all these posts here. I make these posts. Just keep an eye out for them. You can always check my community page. For example, I'm announcing the anniversary sale. There's only a couple days left of that, so take advantage of it before everything goes back to full price. Here is where I announced the 5-year anniversary, and I said, like right here, free feedback on your music. So I will make all of the announcements here on my community page as well. And again, if you sign up for the Discord channel, that I'll show as well. But I'm most active about announcements in terms of like interactions and stuff. See, I make announcements about all my streams on here. But Instagram, that's where I do like stuff in my stories where I ask like for feedback and stuff. So whatever, there's information. Just keep an eye out for it. Digital Anthrax Shaggy, can you post a Discord link? Can someone post it here? Yes, someone, please share the Discord link. Shipshakar Roy, I'm looking at you because I know you're active in the Discord. Currently, I don't have it, and Discord is not also installed on my device. I'm currently in. All right, let's see. Yeah, so easiest way, I should just add it to my page. Like I said, you want to get to the Discord channel, the classes are free. Sign up. I don't think you get emails or anything from these. Just sign up and pick one. You don't have to finish it, but you'll get the link to it. And I have ones on like learning how to use functional harmony for chord progressions, from melodic structure and form, instrumentation, and fundamental arranging techniques. These are all 100% free classes. This is my way of sticking it to the man. If you read my Learn More tab, it's basically I got forced out of music school. And for a period in my life, I felt like all of my dreams were crashing around me because I couldn't afford tuition. And my dream school that I had gotten into seemed to not care one bit that I couldn't afford. And the moment that I couldn't afford tuition, they seemed to be done with me. And so this is kind of my pushback against is offering free education. Let's see, could you share a link for your music tabletop composer? Easiest way to find it is my YouTube channel. I haven't shared a lot of my music, actually, unfortunately. I need to. I've got music, let's see here, your channel. I've got original music. Some of these are very old. Where is it? Music school. Oh yeah, original music. Some of these are very old. Like the 2 years and older. Like if it says 2 years ago, these are actually older than that. These are just like old pieces that popped up. If you want to hear like some of my pieces, if you want to hear, actually, you guys want to hear a piece of my music? Let's pull up a piece of my music, shall we? We'll share a piece for everybody. And I will be releasing a lot more of my music soon as I'm done with this playlist, with this current soundtrack that I'm working on. I will be uploading my new soundtrack soon, but if you want to hear a piece of my music, let's listen to a piece of my music. Where is it? So the bridge, there's one, right here. This is what I did for one of my for the last
even hiring
play I
freelance
scored.
tax experts on Fiverr.
And then after this,
probably works better
Tamashi,
than
I
how we do
will
our taxes here.
review your music.
Aren't you in
just
charge
because you're a
of filing our
regular of the
taxes?
channel. I wrote this about like a year ago. Alright, so something I was reminded of listening to this is why I hate sharing my own music. Because every time I hear a piece, I think about like, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have done this better. I'm very, very self-critical about my own music. But it's good for me. I should share more. So let's do one more piece. I use SoundCloud mostly, so you'll see all of these. These are all drafts that I'm doing for the current soundtrack that I'm working on. And I basically use SoundCloud as a way for sharing music with my collaborators. So let's do another one. This is a mock-up of one of the pieces for a current soundtrack I'm working on. We are getting an actual choir to record this one, and I make some changes. Let's see here. How do I go to an actual? So the church bell is supposed to be ringing, so we're going to get an actual church bell recording for this part, because a bit of sound design. Well, this is the opening Kyrie for a Requiem. right, so that piece, this is the first soundtrack I've ever worked with where I have to set lyrics to music. So obviously that's a mock-up, meaning it's just my computer. We're gonna get the choir to record soon, and yeah, I'll be excited to share all of that with you guys later. But yeah, so that's how the play is gonna open up. It's gonna be a dark stage, and as the things are getting put together, that's the opening number. All right, wonderful. So we're going to listen to one last piece sent from Aditya. Now, Aditya did send this technically before the stream started, and apparently, I forgot this is a piece that Aditya shared for the last stream, which I had forgotten about, but we hadn't gotten to. So we will listen to this, and then this will be the last piece.
A beautifully designed Squarespace.
Oops, we got another ad. 2 ads this time. So while we're at it, we can ask Tamashi's questions. I repeated the melody all throughout except all the strings parts as I wanted to not differ from the mood. So how was the melody? Does it portray sorrow, and how could I have done differ the melody more? All right, then question number 2, how do I like the instrument choices? How do I like the string part? I know the transitions are not quite good, but how is the clarity? How is the percussion? And lastly, can you give me a score out of 10 on this entry? I'm not going to do a score. I don't do scores. But I can offer feedback on the melody and the mood and a bit on the instrumentation. That I can do. All right, so add to. Getting so many ads here. Then this will be the last one. If you missed the deadline or didn't get to submit a piece because you didn't know about this, I will do these things every month. All right, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to me on YouTube, keep an eye out for my announcements. I will do one of these every single month, typically the last Friday of the month. Nice. Aditya, I think that's your strongest submission yet. All right, Aditya Tamashi has been one of the long-time members of this stream. You've been coming to my live streams for as long as I can remember. And every time you submit one, it gets better and better. You are on a good trajectory, my friend. All right, you are learning and you are putting it into practice. So, your feedback. All right, you asked about the melody, you repeated it. I think it's good. It does do a very good job of creating kind of, I wouldn't say sorrow, but melancholy. The brighter timbres, the higher energy that you use throughout create a bit of an upbeat quality, but the very minor qualities and kind of timbres, shape of the melody create a kind of sad mood. So the combination of dark and bright, so bright timbres, dark personality, create more of a kind of a mix of melancholy is what I would say. I think your instrument choices are great. I love the string part in the B section. I think the transition could be done a bit better, which you already mentioned that. But the clarity is wonderful. The strings are beautiful and delicious. I love it when people bring in strings. I'm just a sucker for strings. Percussion is great. And I'm not going to give it a score out of 10, but this was definitely one of your best submissions, my friend. You are getting better and better. Keep up the good work. All right, so let's see here. Digital Anthrax, Shreggy, how can I join the Discord again? All right, so you can join the Discord. The easiest way is go to Tabletop Composer, the Academy, sign up for one of my 100% free classes. There are no hidden costs. You will not be hassled to try and pay for anything. I do have donations you can make to help support the creation of more classes. I've been considering making one for film scoring and stuff like that. Like a class on characters, themes, a class on creating sound palettes, stuff like that. But if you want to see more classes, again, donations are wonderful. You can also support by buying books. But signing up for one of these free classes is one of the best ways you can do with it. Easiest to sign up for Discord if you want to just find the Discord channel. Let's open this up, shall we? Got Cubase open for the examples earlier. Let's see how long it takes for Discord to open and whether it's going to crash my computer. But after this, we are going to call it, my friends. Just because we've been doing this for like, what, 2 hours now? A little over 2 hours? I will be going live again Tuesday. Tuesday, I will be going live, and I will be writing a full piece from start to finish orchestration. From starting with an empty DAW with nothing, all the way to orchestrating the full thing in finale. 5-minute long piece, so a full-length piece. And I will be just kind of vibing for a couple hours if you want to come join. Discord is taking forever to update. So while we wait for this, again, last ad I will do for this one. Go to tabletopcomposer.com, hit more bookshop. Check out my books. These two are the ones I'm most proud of. This one right here, The Musical Storyteller, where you can get 3 comments, it's a smaller book. But this one talks all about how to portray emotions, characters, worlds. Name it, you can portray it with this. The best bit of praise I have ever received for this particular book was someone referred to it as like an emotional experience. I said it was a very spiritual experience where it opened up their eyes to a whole new perspective of how to write music, which I thought was really cool. They said it showed them an approach to composing that they had not thought of before. All right, so let's find the page. Tabletop Composer. It's moving slowly. Let's pull this up. Oops. Wrong thing. Let's see here. Let me find the page. Here we go. All right, so here, Tabletop Composing. That's the name of the channel. It's got my logo on it. You can look it up and find it. Again, these are the class pages. So the easiest way to find this is just look up the academy, find an academy that you want to join, a class, and there we go. Pierre, no worries, no worries. I am going live for an extended period of time Tuesday. All right, Tuesday, like I said, it starts at 11 a.m., I believe, Detroit time is what I said, and it's going to go on for several hours because I have to write a piece from scratch and make it last. All right, so thank you to everyone who submitted a piece. I'm very happy to kind of celebrate these 5 years with you guys. I really, really am. Check out my books. Everything's on sale, $15, 15% off. Book sales is how I make most of my living, other than private lessons and being paid to write soundtracks. So if you want to support creation of more content, if you want to learn everything quickly, these are your best resources. I've also got slides and stuff down here for extra cheap. So I will see you all in a future stream. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, people. I will see you in the next video, which will be Tuesday. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.